We are being killed.
How do we feel about this?
Preserved for eternity. Dreadful thought.
Ever since I was little,
Oh, such a face, such a face.
my grandfather was always a little mysterious. Of all the people in my family, he had lived by far the most illustrious life. A life I'd heard about in bits and pieces, but not one I'd ever fully understood.
Grandfather, I'm gonna turn this off. Is that okay?
Because he won't talk about it.
You have quite a remarkable life.
It's none of your damn business.
He's not particularly fond of talking about the past.
That's a total waste of time, actually.
He prefers to focus on the present. For him, every day is the same. A kind of Groundhog Day of his own making. 7:45 a.m., he reads the Baltimore Sun and the Washington Post. At 8:15, my aunt makes him a breakfast of dried prunes, apricots, beef jerky, and buttered cornbread. 9 a.m. is reading time. When he turned 99, he announced he would only read Emily Brightwell murder mysteries for the rest of his life. At 12 p.m. sharp, he has a glass of sherry.
Sherry at noon and vodka in the evening.
The only moment of his day when he's a little more open to the world is when he goes down the hall to work at the communal puzzle table.
Does that go here?
Hi, Tom. It's kind of a tough one. Hey, you're still doing the puzzle.
And so, if I want to hear my grandfather's story, I think I'll need to go make a puzzle for him. And then maybe he'll talk. I decide to go to Hungary, where my grandfather was born. Can't tell if it's too sunny.
Okay. Let's go.
Where I meet up with Zsófi, a Hungarian filmmaker with a squeaky car. I explained to Zsófi that my grandfather loves puzzles.
Well, he used to do 500-piece puzzles, but now that is...
And that I want to find his childhood home and turn it into a jigsaw puzzle in the hopes that it might get him to talk.
I told him
I think already this must be so interesting for you. What did he say? What is he saying for this?
I was thinking about going to Earaig this summer.
Fine.
What do you think about that?
By all means. Will you be driving?
I think so.
Well, probably. It's 140 kilometers from Budapest, so that's 85, 90 miles.
My grandfather's village is called Earaig Szemce. It's the kind of town where you notice when someone shows up with a camera.
Sziasztok!
Hello.
Szia.
Ez a kastélyel kapcsolatos képeslap, és én ezt át szeretném adni neked, mert úgy gondolom, hogy érintett vagy ebben a témában. Tehát ez nem hétköznapi esemény, tehát ez egy kávézóban, de nem minden nap van egy kamera, úgy gondolom.
A nagypapája itt született a kastélyban, ő ugye az unokája, tehát a Kornfeld Tamásnak az unokája.
Jó gondoltam, igen.
A család ugye nem kapcsolódik már Magyarországhoz, tehát ezért ő nem beszél magyarul, a szülei se beszélnek magyarul, ő most van itt először, amióta a család elhagyta ugye Magyarországot, 44.
Igen?
Wow, I think that's it. It says it's dangerous, that it might fall.
Wow.
Want to look inside?
Mit meg nem teszek én a múltért?
After my grandfather fled Hungary, his home was turned into a boarding school. With school out for summer, the principals agree to let us stay the night.
Mi ezt az egészet a faluba úgy hívjuk, hogy a kastély. Az is a kastély, ott vannak a sportpályák. Tehát ez az egész a Kornfeldeké volt.
So, all this that you can see, as far as my eye can see, or your eyes can see, that belong to the kingdom, to the estate.
Like those little trees?
Ó, hát azon túl még messze-messze.
It's something hard to imagine.
I've always known my grandfather was technically a baron,
És ott volt egy nagy kút, ott volt a terasz, és ott volt lent a medence.
but I didn't realize that meant property over 6,000 acres. Tennis courts, horse stables, a rose garden.
Onnan hoztak minden reggel friss virágot a vázába, ha itt volt a bárónő.
A ballroom, a library, 13 bedrooms.
This was a music room.
For the first time, I was seeing the scope of what he had with my own eyes.
So Edith said that for the night we should close the door because it's only us staying and the ghosts.
Biztos érdekes neki.
Yeah, persze, ezt el sem tudta képzelni.
Bye, guys.
Na, látszik az idő vasfoga, azért látjátok, hogy nagyon romlik, és nagyon sok pénz kellene erre, hogy felújítsák.
De itt szeretjük, ahogy van.
Igen, azért látjátok ezt is, hogy ez a csend és nyugalom, ez megfizethetetlen. Madarak, mókusok, és mi szeretjük a csendet. Ti szeretitek a nagyvárosi életet? Mondjuk Ora Los Angeles-i?
Do you like big city life, Ora?
Yes and no. I think I just live in the big cities right now because I have to date and because of work.
Na, majd itt Irak-szemcsén keresünk valakit.
Search someone for you in Irak-szemcse?
Nem, mert akkor be akar költözni a kastélyba.
Nem. Nem, építhet ott valahol lent egyet. Kornfeld báró unokája.
Nem Mozartból kapott.
Ki az a csaj?
Ora az a Kornfeld bárónak a leszármazottja.
Hajha. Öreganyám annál volt lapszámos. Báróna. Igen. Ne állj elém! Nem leszek benne a fotóba. Hát.
Egy Ora DeKornfeld.
Igen.
Hello.
Tehát azért Irak-szemcseieknek egy Kornfeld, az a mai napig, az egy nagyon nagy dolog.
Én mindig azt vártam, hogy csak valaki jönne, nem tudom miért.
It's a buzz. It's like a thing that you are here, you know?
Több mindenki elkezdett így agyalni, hogy jaj, akkor most mit tehetek hozzá, mit csináljunk, mert érkezik Ora DeKornfeld.
Amikor ezt mondtam az Órának, ő meg teljesen ezen úgy meglepődött, mert ugyan ott ők senkik.
People here seem to know more about my family than I did.
Your family was more important here than the Rockefellers in the States.
Oh. And they were excited to share. Andi, the head of the cultural center, showed me glass negatives she found in an attic covered in chicken poop. This is what village life was like in the early 1940s when my grandfather lived here. She even had 2 never-before-seen photos of my family. And a copy of the castle guest book with a little note from every important artist, writer, and diplomat that had stayed there. Historians told me how my great-great-grandfather, Manfred Weiss, came to Budapest to sell cans of plum jam, and then grew that business into a metal and steel industrial empire that controlled 1/10 of the Hungarian GDP.
Arra kérlek, vedd vissza a tulajdonodat.
Tehát aztán voltak azok a hírek, hogy elásták az aranyaikat a fatövibe. Hát most milyen fatövibe, hova? Ez egy ilyen mendemondat, hogy elásták.
Ebben az évben egy különleges vendéget is köszönhetünk körünkbe, Ora DeKornfeld kisasszonyt, aki ismeri Iregszemcse történelmét, tudja, hogy a Kornfeld név milyen jelentős nyomot hagyott a település életében.
Okay, this is a video. I received many gifts, including this homemade sausage, wider than the fridge, and a shot of palinka from the mayor. Andi was intent on giving me the Baroness experience. Oh my God.
Tessék, ebbe lehetsz bárolni.
Which all the ladies of the town seem to want to get in on. I was flattered by the attention, but also why all the fanfare for the granddaughter of someone who left town nearly 80 years ago? Dad, I cannot believe how much this town knows about our family.
Yeah, that is unbelievable.
And Dad, they're letting me sleep in Grandfather's old bedroom.
Now, who would have ever thought that you would sleep in that bed?
Well, actually, I'm not sleeping in that bed because it's so hot. We dragged our mattresses out to the terrace and we're sleeping outside, but I still feel like I understand better what it might have been like for Grandfather to call this home. And what it would have been like for him to lose it.
That's part of the story that I'm sure the townspeople will be much less eager to share.
Oké. Na, szóval, hogy mindenki tőlem akar most már információt, amióta ezt megosztott. Oda nézzetek. Képzeljétek el, hogy tegnap este megosztottam, 22 perc alatt 77 ember lett. A Tolnai Népújság újságírója azt kérdezi, hogy jó-e így a szöveg, szeretné a képet megjelentetni, ami fönt van a Facebookon.
A Tolna megyei újságban?
Igen.
Oké, és akkor a cikk?
A cikk. Az Iregszemcsei kastély egykori tulajdonosának leszármazottja, Ora DeKornfeld nem csak történeteket, elbeszéléseket gyűjtött és helyi nevezetességeket örökített meg, hanem egy kis szabadidős vidám kikapcsolódásra.
So they're gonna say that you visited the village and that you not only come here to collect stories but also to have fun. And then we came here to the cultural house and we were dressing up from the theater clothes and we had champagne in the sunset.
Mehet?
Nem tudom, így kimaradt belőle egy csomó ilyen kapcsolódás.
Dolog.
Mert szerintem ez egy lehetőség lenne arra, hogy itt elmondani, hogy mi történt ezzel. Hogy most elolvasnak egy cikket, amiben van valami érdekes dolog, és we have to respect that they read this and they should read something that makes sense.
The town, like my grandfather, is avoiding something. When did you guys first learn about Judaism being a part of the story and how did it make you feel?
It was between my freshman and junior year of college when I was working in construction and spent the summer at Patterson Street.
You didn't know until you were in college?
I didn't.
But I remember the first time Dad actually confirmed to me that he was Jewish, and that was when I was 40 years old at Mom's funeral at the lake. You know?
Seems to be quite a variety of ages for this.
No, I mean, I don't know why I feel like I knew young, but I remember talking with Aunt Pup, and she still had the yellow star, and she showed me.
Really?
But I don't remember how old I don't remember how old I was.
I was probably 60 when I saw that yellow star for the first time.
So really what we're saying is I was the favorite.
You were the chosen you were the chosen one.
Yeah, because I'd ask Aunt Pup a question, she'd say, ask your dad. And I said, well, he'll never tell me. And she said, okay.
In March of 1944, Nazi Germany invaded and occupied Hungary. This is the university where my grandfather was studying medicine when he learned he'd have to go into hiding. This was the home of my grandfather's nanny, where he stayed until 2 police officers knocked on the door one day. Over 500,000 Hungarians were murdered in the Holocaust. But for my family, a combination of prominence, wealth, and lucky timing meant that the SS was willing
to make a deal that your family gives their whole fortune, real estates, factories, land, and all commodities and so on to the Germans in exchange for the life.
With the castle now empty, some of the more valuable items started to disappear.
Egyébként nem merték egy csomó ideig megmutatni azt, hogy miket kaptak.
The things that once belonged to my family live on now in the village. Not just stolen items, but items that were given as gifts and then passed down for generations.
Édesapámnak az édesanyja, az a báróéknál volt szakácsnő. Ő Julianna volt a neve, és egyszer névnapjára kapta a bárónőtől ezt a kis vázat.
Hát ezek igaziból az apósom öröksége. Hát az apósom az ő édesapja volt a kovácsmester az ő dédnagy apájának.
És a hangosító fiú, és ezt a 2 képet ő a keresztelőjére kapta, úgyhogy mi ilyen képekkel dolgozunk a színtársulatban.
A dédnagypapámnak volt 4 gyermeke, és így ők kapták meg karácsonyra. És az anyukám volt ugye ő is ugye megkapta az én nagypapámtól, és ő megátadta nekem.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Dad, did grandfather ever try to get any of this back?
I don't think grandfather had any interest in trying to reclaim that. As his sister Hannah said, it'd be like taking tools from a corpse.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, I'll hold it up for people. You want to try to blow them out? All right. Nicely done.
Thank you all very, very much. I'm grateful, appreciate so much. Thanks.
Tom brought me a beautiful Star of David necklace, and then Dad saw it. In fact, we were walking to the puzzle, and he said, please don't wear that around me, because I've spent my entire life trying to hide the fact that I'm a Jew.
And so someone who doesn't show emotion, there's a great deal of emotion inside.
No, and there is, yeah. Yeah.
In my grandfather's hometown, I got to experience a world that no longer exists. What life might have been like if history had gone differently. And yet I know that if things had gone differently, my grandfather would have never immigrated to the US. He wouldn't have been drafted into the army to serve in the war he'd just fled. Wouldn't have become an anesthesiologist or met the nurse that became my grandmother. My dad and his siblings wouldn't have been born, which means my cousins and my sister and I wouldn't be here either. It's a strange thing to mourn the circumstances that created my existence. And maybe why I'm really here is to see what we lost and what we held on to.
Do you think the puzzle will work?
That suddenly your grandfather turns into tears in his eyes and it will be like, oh my God, Ora, I want to tell you how much I miss this place. No, I think he locked all of this in a box and I don't think he can open it.
Grandfather, does this image bring up any memories about your childhood?
Yes, of course, I was born there.
I totally understand why you loved it so much.
It was mine, it was ours, and I just loved it. It was nice. Well, we have this practically done. So,
ta-da!
That was fun. How come you were wearing a long gown like that?
The ladies of the town wanted me to feel like a baroness, so they dressed me up.
Oh. Did you?
Feel like a baroness?
Yeah. Good.
I really did. I was very surprised.
Pleased to hear it. God, that brings back memories. Okay, shall we?
Let's go.
Is he on set?
He's on set.
It's an easy puzzle, but it was fun.